So one of the common questions people ask when they're thinking about investing in search is how much does it cost? And the short version is SEO consulting on average will cost around 150 an hour for well done work. That can mean 3,000 plus per month depending on the vertical. And then in some industries you could be spending anywhere from 5,000 a month to 100,000 plus a month for those services. So that's just a rough what does it cost generally, but wanted to reframe this idea to say you don't want to know what does it cost, you want to know what do you need to invest to see results. And that mindset shift is important to actually see the results you want and to understand the vertical appropriately to get those results. So as a general benchmark, one of the ways to do this is look at competitors in your vertical and then go to the HRS or your tool of choice, look at how many links they have, and then look at how many links you have. Create that gap. So if one competitor has 500 links and you only have 100 links, you're missing 400 links. So if you take 400 links and then you say reasonably, the cost it's gonna take to generate a link is around 1,000. This can vary, but, and also other activity will generate links even indirectly, but just call it $1,000. So if you multiply 400 links by $1,000, your rough, very ballpark, super directional way of thinking about this is SEO, if you invest in it, could cost around $400,000 to see comparable results as to your competitors. That's a very reasonable way of thinking about that. It's worth noting the bigger this gap is, the less you're going to see money on the way up. And you actually will see money on the way up, so it's not like you have to spend $400,000 to suddenly make $400,000 at the end of the rainbow. But the closer you get to the end of that rainbow, the more likely you're actually starting to see some gold that leprechaun is hiding at that rainbow as we describe it. So the further that gap is, effectively is saying you need more links and trust in order to get there. So if your competitors say have 30,000 links and you're a brand new startup, you probably need a lot more time and effort invested in order to get there. And this is one of the reasons we often recommend SEO should be seriously invested in, very often Series A plus, if you're competing with very nationally known brands, because you've got product market fit, you've got links building, and all of these things can kind of work out to your benefit. So to add to this idea of this very simplistic analysis, we definitely suggest checking out our 2 posts on doing ROI calculations specifically for your vertical. We have one on how much content is worth, and then one how much links are worth in your vertical. So you can do this math to actually understand what that ROI calculation is, and potentially you can adjust that $1,000 math down or the content down to kind of understand what SEO should be worth to you. So that understanding brings us back to that first point of what things cost on average in SEO. So what you care about is how much you're spending against the return. Are you getting links back? Are you getting content back that generates return for your business? And what is the goalpost you have to get to in order to see return from that SEO? Because if you just blindly pay some SEO $3,000 a month and you don't think about ROI, you don't think about those goalposts at all, you might come back and think that SEOs are scam artists, and many of those SEOs are at fault for not properly setting expectations, but it's also worth understanding what you're investing in before you really go deep on it, or you'll end up being one of those companies that regrets it at the end of the day. So this is an awkward ending.